When you finished your email marketing, you're going to take screen captures of it and merge those screen captures together into one long file in Photoshop. And then we're going to save that for web and then import that into our Behance project page. So we're in MailChimp. I will go into my email, go into edit, and then under preview, go into enter preview mode. And here you'll see we have our email. Since this is really long, we're going to have to take a couple different screen captures and then piece those screen captures together so it looks like one long email in our Behance presentation. So Command-Shift-4 turns your pointer into a little target, and try to make your selections in between your photographs and your headlines if you can. So there's one. Two. And three. I'm going to grab just the end of these pictures so I have a reference. I don't need any of this legal stuff down here. I'll just go down to the social media links. Okay, so I've taken 3 screen captures in preview. To exit preview, I just click the X. Now I'll go into Photoshop and I'm going to do Command-N to create a new file in here. You can also click over here as well. The width of the screen and the images that you want in Behance are 1400 pixels wide. So I want to keep my email a little bit smaller than that. So I think I'll set mine at about 800. That'll give me a couple hundred pixels. Well, maybe let's do 1000. That'll give me a couple hundred pixels on each side. So I'm going to set my new document for web, and we'll set this at 1000 pixels wide. And for right now, we'll set it at 3000 pixels long. We'll probably crop that. No artboards, 72 pixels per inch, RGB is fine. Create. And now I'm simply going to open, Command-O, and we're going to find those 3 screen captures. You can see there's one here, 2, and 3. I'll select all 3, go to Open, and then I'll take the first one, and this is in a separate file. I will select all with Command-A, Command-C to copy, Command-W to close that window, and then I'll go back to my initial window here and Command-V. You will see that that's the size right there. So it's a little bit smaller than I wanted. That's okay, we can crop this down and it'll just be a little bit thinner in our Behance presentation. That'll be okay. Here, so select all, Command-A, Command-C to copy, Command-W for window, and Command-V to paste. We'll do the same thing for the last one. Command-A, Command-C, Command-W to close the window, Command-V to paste. Now I'll just zoom in here a little bit, grab each of these layers, and I'll move this layer to the top because that's my first image here. And we'll put this right up on the edge. We'll grab our second layer and move that up. And this layer we'll put right up here. And then the last layer we'll move down here. Now I am going to move in just a little bit, and I want to look at where my edges are. I want this to line up. I want to leave about the same amount of white space in between here. So I'm just going to nudge this down with my arrow keys. And I'm looking at the white space between here and here. That looks good. And as I come down here, you'll see that I copied over, so I had a little bit of a reference point. This is a repeat right here. So I can just push that underneath there. Once I see I have that lined up, my arrow keys, I'm just going to nudge that up until that disappears. And if I zoom out, Command 0, that looks good. So I'm going to touch C or go here for my crop tool. And then I'm going to crop this down. I'll zoom in here, make sure I get the edge here, move it in so I just have a little bit of a border on that side. I'm just going to crop that gray off and zoom out a little bit just to make sure that I have equal margins here. Go up to the top. I want this in here because that's part of a regular email. That looks like everything I need. Then I'll type return, and that will crop everything down. So now you can see I have my email marketing in one long file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this for web and devices. Command Option Shift S, or I can go to File, Export, Save for Web. Since there's a lot of photographs in here, I'm going to save this as a JPEG. Double check now, my width is 538. Be a little bit thin, but this will get the picture across in Behance. The height is 1813 pixels. I'm going to click Save. And then we'll name this Craig's Email. And right now I'll just put this on the desktop. So this is our entire email, a really long file, all pieced together from those screen captures. I'll click Save. And now we're going to go to Behance. And in Behance, I have my project. And I'm in my project right now building it. See where I have my header that goes here, and my descriptive paragraph could go here. So next, I'll just hover down below, and it'll ask me what I want to insert. The first one, I'm going to click Insert Media. And then I'll go to my desktop, and I will find that, Craig's Email. You can see that the width and the dimensions are the same. Click Open. And it looks pretty good. It'll take a while to place. But now you can see in here that I could go full screen. Oh, I can't. I'm sorry. I can't go full screen because it has to be at least 1400 pixels. But the way I have it now, I think this looks just fine. You can screen through it and or scroll through the screen. It gives a nice margin on both sides. It's not too large, and it shows the entire piece. If you wanted to, you could go back into Photoshop and put a light gray border around the entire piece. That would be fine. If we were to change the background in here, you would see that white box that I left around it in Photoshop. That would be fine too, but I think this looks just fine for what you're going to be showing me and for me to grade. So you just click Save, and as you build your Behance page, your project page, you'll put all the other pieces of information in here. So that's how you add your final MailChimp email to your Behance project page. Thank you.